Hey everybody, this is Dave coming to you from the Gaming Cave, and today we're going to do a second playthrough of Tiger Leader, the World War II German combat solitaire strategy game. Okay, so I did a playthrough and failed miserably, so I decided to do a second playthrough and see. So hopefully I can show a little bit more of the game than what happened in that first one, where I just had horrible strategy, horrible luck. So we're just going to try it again. So I'm going to stay in Italy, 1943. And we get to, we have the 40 points there. And then I decided we're going to play one of the expansions, which is Elite Unit. And so in this one, I get an additional 40. It's a 5-week campaign, so it is a little bit longer, not horribly long, and then I get 8 SO points every week, which is nice, but I had to pull 45 battalion points, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. The 45 equated to 15 battalions. Now, the odd thing was, out of all of them, none of them started at the front. So my first battle, one of the things I had to buy, I bought a scout unit and a truck unit so that it will pay the penalty SO points for me to make this first attack without spending an SO on it. I already spent it when I bought the unit to support me. The other thing that I got was, here's how I pulled my units. I took one anti-tank team, one rifle team, one machine gun team. So that's my 3 infantry units that I took. And then I decided, I shuffled up all my armor that was available and I drew my armor units. So I drew 5 armor units and I got an okay draw. I pulled a Martyr 3, which is a good draw. I pulled 2 Panzer 3s, which they're okay. They're better against HE than they are armor, actually. So they'll be good when I'm going up against some of that. I got a Stug 3 long. He came out in 41. He's good against the armor. And then I have the Elephant. He was new in 43. And he's devastating against the armor. So he was he cost me 16 though, and the Stug cost me 13. So I spent a lot of points on those guys, but I randomly drew them. So I went with them, and then I saved myself 8 SO points, unlike the last time that I played when I didn't do that, and I got burnt. Then I randomly drew my commanders, the 3 infantry and the 5 armor guys, based on 1 recruit, 3 green, 3 average, and then because I only had 8, then I only got 1 skilled. Then, because these are elite units, this very first one, I got to perform a total of 10 skill rank increases. So I was able to go through and promote up my leaders. So that helped me a lot, getting guys up and ready to go and trying to get their skill level up. So I should have pretty good, if the dice gods will love me in this game, I'll have pretty good luck against these targets, I hope, and I can withstand some of this. I needed the 8, especially because of this, because a lot of these, out of these 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 of them may or may not move forward, but the rest of them may have. So I got to knock 1 off or 2 off. They're going to get in the front. I got to get a couple more because they're going to hit my transit area and they're going to start costing me if they all move. So I got to get these guys pretty quick. So what I decided to do was, the 1st battalion, I'm going to have 1 battle this first week, and I'm going after the large tank force. It is 6 tanks. I'm trying to not get the glare so bad. 6 tanks and 2 armored cars. It's 3 victory points. I gain 2 experience points because they're in the enemy transit. I get 2 experience points for killing this battalion. The enemy tanks gain +1 on their range. So they're going to have better range on me. So I got to get after them. and hit them hard. And last time I didn't do a very good job with my American commander, shuffled the deck. And let's see who this battalion has for American commander is Horace McBride. No adjustment. They're standard. There's no adjustment here. So he doesn't have any effect with this battalion, but he's assigned to that battalion. So he doesn't help them. He doesn't hurt them. Okay, so I'll take that against the tank force. I need that. I can also play my scout in this turn, and I'm going to. He gives me 6 turns. He gives me 1 extra turn in my battle, and I want that, means it's the only battle I have this week, to make sure that I eliminate this battalion. I need to get rid of it. I don't want it up there moving forward or anywhere else. I need to get it and kill it. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so the first thing I have to do is my special condition card, and it is News from Berlin. You may either gain 3 SO points or replace any one of your commanders with a new commander 1 skill level higher of the same type. Wow. Okay. Now I got to look at my commanders and decide what to do. So I'll do that here in just a minute. I can tell you I'm going to assign units, and the units are all going to be my armor. So I'll go ahead and it's going to be my anti-tank team. And then I'm going to run all 5 of my armor units, I think. I really shouldn't have to do that against these guys, but man, I've been shortchanging myself. My leaders are pretty good. And the other thing on this card is all commanders suffer 1 fewer stress after each battle. So where normally you pick up 2 stress in a battle, you're only going to pick up 1. And if they have any cool factors, then I'm going to gain 1. So, yeah. So I got to think about this a little bit. But right now I'm looking at all 5 of my armor units coming out for this. So that's what I'm going to look at. I'm going to look at my leaders, and then I'll be back here, and we'll see what I decide to do. We'll pull the event card, and then I'll do all the setup with the terrain and everything. So I'll be back here shortly. Okay, so with my news from Berlin, I decided to replace Vogel. He had 0 cool, even though he was skilled, and promotions of 3. He was aggressive and had overdrive, but it wasn't anything that I, was hoping. So I get to replace him with 1 level higher. So I send Vogel back into the reserves, and I drew randomly, and I drew Berger, and he goes up 1 level higher. So he comes in as a veteran. So I picked up another veteran. The great thing, he has a cool of 2. He's also +2, and he's fast. So he doesn't have any special skills, but he brings a lot to the table. So now I got this guy, and then I decided on 4 armor units in my anti-tank team. So I'm going with my anti-tank team here, and Schulte is there. He's an average leader. So I'm trying to get him in to a battle. I hope that he can get us a promotion. I have my Panzer III, taking 1 of those. I'm leaving the other one out, so I'll make sure I still have a fresh tank in case something happens. I have my Martyr 3, I have my Stug 3, and my Elephant over here. So I got to assign my leaders to it. Of course, Berger, I have Schmidt, I have Beck, and I have Oswald. So my 4 tank commanders, along with Berger, all of them except for Schmidt have cool factors of 2. So I'm hoping I get out of here with these guys are going to gain some action and not get a bunch of stress on them, and hopefully we'll come out of this thing with something positive. So now that I've assigned my units, I get to draw an event card, and the event card is Inspiring Leader. Add a total of 2 command tactic counters to your highest skill level participating commander. All right, man, this game is setting up a whole lot different than I had the last time. Instead of mud and junk and everything else, I'm actually getting something I can use. So I'll set this aside here, and when I do my setup, I'll add my tactics to it. It'll be one of the 2 veterans. So it'll either be Berger or Oswald. Neither one of them have tactics, but they're both fast, which is going to give them something extra there too. So we'll see what we want to do with that. All right. I'll be back in a little bit after the next thing I do is place my terrain tiles, and I'll set up the friendly units and the enemy units, and then I'll come back and we'll see where we're at. Okay, so here's the setup. Interesting board, because I remember I used the expansion packs, that's why there's all these different colors. So this is an original, there's heavy cover there. This is a river hex. When you have a river hex, you have to have a second one, so you take the second one out, which I did, and I connected it. This one has light cover here. This is bog. So there's a chance you could get stuck in it at a die roll of 3 or less for the whole battle. A 4 or 7 keeps your action from doing anything, or no effect at 8 or higher. Those aren't very good odds, and I'm not willing to risk my armor in that bog right now. I wish it would have come on those guys where they could have started in it and I could have rolled for them, but it didn't. And I have light cover here. So the only light cover is here and heavy cover there. So we got wide open terrain with a river and some bog over here that kind of pushed me off to one corner. Now for the river, you start on their side. So they are on that side of the river. It costs them 1 movement point to get to the other side of the river before they can start moving, up through here. So depending on what happens there, the range doesn't change, but it costs you that point to get across. So this is very interesting. I may have to use my tactics and stuff to try to, get up into some of this cover or something to help me. The other thing is on this, their tanks gain +1 range. So something I was looking at, and I made a mistake on the last one too. Let's look at a tank, for an American tank. On this counter, the 3 right here represents his value. And then the 2 is his attack value. So a 2 or higher he hits. So he can hit you hard. Now, his range is 3 against armor and 3 against indirect or infantry type targets. So that's what his range is. And then, of course, the last 3 is his defense. He has to roll a 3 or less not to get hit. Okay, so the tanks are deadly. And they got a range of 4 on me now. The armored car is a value of 2. His attack value is a 7. So it's much harder for him to hit. He has a range of 2 against tanks and a 5 against an infantry target. So he can shoot a long distance, that armored car can, at my infantry, but his hit values are a lot harder for him to hit too. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at. The armored cars, they're going to harass the heck out of me because they can shoot a long way. Depending on another thing that's going to affect this is this die roll, and we'll go ahead and do that now. Is the die, we roll a D10, a 1 to 4, they're going to use a D6 on the tactical movement, a 5 to 10, a D10. I want them to be aggressive. I want them coming at me. That way I can get some shots on them. So we'll see what they're going to get. Here comes the die roll. And it is a 5. Oops. My thumb was covering it, sorry. It's a 5. And the 5 is, they're going to use a D10. So we're going to put a D10 over here so that I don't forget which one we're using for this battle. Okay. So this battle, they're going to have their normal aggressive self. So that's what I want. I want them to have a better chance of advancing. If they can't attack, I want them coming at me. Because of their long range, they're going to be attacking. So I got to be aggressive too. It means I'm going to have to be moving and shooting. I got to get up in range and start firing away at these guys. And start getting me some hits. And I got to get my anti-tank team. He's going to, he's going to have a tough time with these armored cars up there. I just didn't get any cover to move into. So, this is the fun part of it. Now's when you got to start working on your tactics and your strategy. All right, so that's the setup, and we'll get ready to give her a start here in just a little bit. All right, let's get started here. It's time for our combat. And we start with fast move and attack. My elephant, he's slow, but the Stug, which is armor number 22, he's a fast. We're going to move him. He's going to move up to here. And my Martyr 3, number 75, he's a fast. He's going to move up to there. So we got them into light cover. And then the rest of these guys are kind of sitting here waiting. Okay. So that's our fast move and attack. Let's see. At range 3 now, 1, 2, 3 is a -2. If the Martyr, let's see, he can fire. So he will. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. He's going to fire the tank right here. See if we can knock out a tank. Him and the Stug can both fire their -2 on their die rolls. That makes it tough. So we'll start with the Martyr. So he gets a -2. Let's see. AP attack is 5 or higher. He's at range 1, 2, 3. So at range 3 is another -2 and -4, but his commander is a +1. So I'm a -3 to my die roll, and I need 5s or higher to hit. Here we go. Let's see what we get here. And we get a 3, which is a miss, but he got an 8. And an 8 -3 is 5. That's a hit. So we hit the tank. He is in the open, and his defense is 3. He gets 1 die. He needs 3 or less to defeat this. And he gets an 8. Killed the tank. All right. So 1 down. Boom. All right. Well, in that case, my Stug ought to shoot 2. He's the exact same thing. He's a -2. His range is 3. So that's makes him -4, but his commander, Oswald, is a +1. So that makes him a -3. We need 5 or higher. -3 to the die roll. Here we go. And we get a 2. But looky here. We got us a 9. And the 9 is a hit on the other tank in that square. Okay. He has to have 3 or less. Here comes his die roll. Is 6. Wow. Killed 2 tanks on that first move. Boom. There we go. That's the kind of stuff I got to have to win this. I want to win it fast without any stress. I need to, because I know I'm going to have a big push coming up. Okay. Now we roll for the enemy moves. And this roll is a 9. Okay. We start with they're all tanks and armored cars. So they're going to do AP advance. Okay, so in AP advance, we move. I'll show you real quick. Just so we. AP advance. Move the enemy unit 1 hex closer to the closest AP friendly unit. If no friendly units on the map can be attacked with AP, the unit does not move. And if there's cover, you move them into the heaviest cover. Okay. All right. So we'll move and fire because that's the way we're supposed to do it. All right. So let's just move. We'll just go left to right. So this armored car moves up. Range is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now my tanks have a range of 4. They're still going to move. All right, so he's at range 3, which is a -2. He will fire at, let's see, my anti-tank team has a defense of 3, which will be a 4 in that light cover. Number 22, he has a defense of 2. That's my Stug. So right there, they would go after the Stug. And then the Martyr has a defense of 2, so it could be either one of those two. 1, 2, 3. Actually, a defensive 2 on the Panzer, and he has no cover. That's 312. And what's the other one? 42. He is a defensive 4. They won't attack him. So they're going to go after the Panzer 3. That's who he's going to shoot at. 2, 3. We're in. Oh, his range for armor is 2. So he doesn't have the range to hit. He has to fire at the anti-tank team with a range of 3. Well, he has a range of 5. He needs a 7 or higher to hit. And he's -2 to his die roll. And he moved. I don't think he can get a hit. He gets a 4. And he gets a 5. So he missed. Okay, the armored car didn't do anything. This tank moves. Now, he has a range of 3, +1, which is a range of 4. So now he'll fire at this Panzer 3. That's who he's targeting. He's a 2, range of 3 is going to be, and he moved. And so let's see, when an armor unit moves, allied units when attacking tank, they have a -1 on their penalty, and he's got -2 for range, so -3. Oops, got my die. He needs 2 or higher to hit my Panzer 3, -3. There's a 1, he missed, but there's an 8, and the 8 gives him 1 hit on my Martyr, on my Panzer 3. Here we go. First one is suspension and 1 stress. So my Panzer takes a suspension hit. My commander gets a stress. And suspension cannot move or enter battle. Okay, so they disabled him right there. So he's stuck. Luckily, he's in range to be able to... No, he's not even in range. So he's out of the battle. Basically, he's a target now. Okay, that was that tank. This tank moves. He's going to fire also at the Panzer. Same thing. He's -3. He needs a 2 or higher. He gets a 3. -3 is a 0. And he gets a 2. So 0. He missed. Okay. This armored car can cross the river, or he can go 1, 2, 3. If he moves there, he's still 1, 2, 3. He's going to cross the river. So he spends his movement point to cross the river. His range is 2 for armor, so he can't fire, but he can fire at the anti-tank team. He's a 7. He gets -1 for moving and -2, so he's -3. He has to roll 10s to hit. He gets a 7 and a 3. He missed. Okay. This tank moves up. He moves into this square. And he can fire 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3. So his best chance to hit, because he gets the extended range because of his battalion card, which is +1 on his tank. Okay. A 4 is a -3. So he would be -3 to fire at the Panzer. Here he would be -2. So he's going to fire. We got to roll. Let's see. 1 to 5, he'll fire at number 75, the Martyr 3. Let's see. These guys are defenses are 2, right? So he rolled a 4. That's who he's firing at. So he's firing at my Martyr 3. He needs a 2 or higher to hit. He moved -1, and he has a -2, so he's -3 to his die roll. And he gets a 3, which is a miss, but a 6, which is a 3, which is 1 hit. So he scores a hit on my Martyr. And it is exposed. Okay. Exposed means +2 to be hit starting next turn until the unit moves. Well, that's not cool. But he's got me there. Okay. We'll have to see what happens there. This tank now moves. He's going to fire. So he's going to roll 1 to 5 at the martyr. He rolls an 8. He's firing at unit 22, which is my Stug. Okay. And you know what? I didn't roll to see if my martyr defeated that. I skipped that whole step. I just said, hey, hit him. Okay. His defense was 2, plus 1's a 3. I need a 3 or less. On a 3 or less, I defeated that. Nope, it's a 4. Okay, so there. It all came out. All right. He's attacking the Stug. He needs a 2, and he's -3 to his die roll. Here we go. And he gets a 1 and a 10. 1 hit. The Stug is a defensive 2, plus 1 for the light cover is a 3. So he needs a 3 or less to defeat it. And he gets a 7. So my Stug takes a hit. All right. Here we go. And it is 1 stress. All right. So my Stug took a stress. Put that on there. It's on my Commander Oswald. Stress goes back in. All right. That's it for the Americans move. Now our slow, or anybody that has a tactic. But the elephant is slow. He's going to fire. He has a range of 3. 1, 2, 3. He's firing at this tank over here. There's no terrain in the way to block him. He needs a 3 to hit. He's -2 for range. And this commander is Schmidt. He's a +2. He's a marksman, but there's no terrain to defeat there, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so here we go. He gets a 3 or higher, scores a hit. He gets a 9 and a 5. 2 hits. All right, the American tank, he rolls 2 dice because of 2 hits. He needs 3 or less to defeat this. And it is a 9 and a 10. He killed a tank. All right, the elephant knocked one out. We're doing good so far. Okay, now we come up here and we have our martyr, number 75. He was fast. He can't do anything. He already did his. He moved and fired. And we have number 22, our Stug. He moved. He's going to play a tactic. So he's going to drop from 2 down to 1 now. And he's going to fire. Range is 3. 1, 2, 3. He's firing at one of these tanks. And he needs a 5 to hit. He's a -2 for range. And he's +1, so he's -1. So I need 5 or higher, -1 to the die. And he gets a 10, that's a hit, and an 8, 2 hits. And the tank needs 3 or less. And he gets a 1, he defeated that, but he gets a 7. We killed another tank. Boom. All right. Hey, this is going well. I got the right guys out here blasting away. Okay. That's it for the slow moving attack. We're going to advance our turn counter, and we're going to do a little math here because we're looking for half strength. We killed quite a few. So they have 2, 5, 7, 10. This battalion is now at half strength. This is 19A. At half strength, they're -2 on their tactical roll. So I've got them in trouble now. We we hit them and got them in trouble. Okay. So I get a fast moving attack. This is just turn 2, and we've already knocked them down to half. This is exactly what I was hoping for. My elephant can fire. 1, 2, 3. He's a slow, or I can use my tactic and go ahead and take my shot. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So my elephant's going to use his tactic. And he's going to fire at this tank. Range is 3. He needs a 3 to hit. -2, but his commander gives him +2. So it's 3 or higher to hit. He gets a 6 and a 7. 2 hits. And the tank needs 3s or less to survive. He gets a 1 and a 10. Killed that tank also. All right. So we eliminated another tank. All right. We got an armored car, and a tank. Who else have I got here? Oswald is fast with the Stug. He can fire. Range is 3 to that tank. He's a -2 for range and a +1 for my commander. So he's a -1 and he's 5 or higher to hit. Oops. -1, 6. So that makes that a 5. That's a hit. And another 6. That's a 5. 2 more hits on this tank. He needs 3s to survive. He gets a 3. But he gets a 5. And the second hit kills that tank. He's down to 2 armored cars. I think we've reached the level where we win. But we'll go ahead and finish the turn. Okay. That was my Stug. Now my Martyr can fire. He's a fast. Range is 3. 1, 2, 3. He'll fire at this armored car over here. 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's going to fire at that armored car with my Martyr. He's a 5 to hit. -2 for range. +1 for my commander. So -1. I need 5s to hit with the Martyr 3. He gets a 5 and a 4. -1, he does not hit. So the Martyr missed. Okay, that's it for my fast attacks. Now we roll for the 2 armored cars that are left. And it's a -2. He rolled a 9, which is going to put it on 7. Advance if cannot attack. The armored cars can attack the anti-tank team. So that's where they're firing at. Range 3. They're going to fire. And it is -2. He's a 7 to hit, so he needs a 9 or higher to hit. He gets an 8 and a 2. He misses. This armored car is firing the same way. It's the same modifiers. He gets a 1, but he got a 10. He scored a hit. My anti-tank team has a defense of 3 plus covers 4, so I need a 4 or less to beat this. And I got a 1. So we defeated that. So he did not hit me. And for my slow, I still have my elephant because he played his tactic. He's going to fire at the armored car. 1, 2, 3. He needs a 3 or less to hit. -2 and +2. So 3s are higher to hit. He gets a 2, missed, and an 8. He hits. The armored car is a defense of 2. He needs a 2 or less to survive. He gets a 5. Killed that armored car. Okay. And the last slow unit I have, the Panzer can't do anything, and my anti-tank team's out of range, and that completes the turn. And in this battle, we defeated that battalion in 2 turns. Wow. That's the power of some of these guns like that elephant. Man. And I hit them, and I had the tactics, and I was able to jump out and get some hits right away. they got aggressive, tried to move up on me. It affected their firing, and this one just worked great. So I'm going to tally up everything, get my experience points put in, get my victory points, and then we'll see where we're at. So, and that takes care of Horace McBride for his commanding for that battalion. They got obliterated. So I'll be right back. Okay, so for the end of the move, end of turn, I forgot to pull my event card. So we may pay 1 victory point to gain 5 SO points. And I did that. I decided to do that. And so that boosted my SO points. I destroyed the large tank force. It would have been 3 victory points, so I only got 2. But I got 2 extra experience points for killing this battalion. So I actually gained 4 experience points. And those 4 points caused Commander Schulte in the infantry was average. He needed a 3 to get promoted. He now becomes skilled, so he needs a 4 on the next time. He gains, well, he had a tactic, but what he gained was +1 here on his, if he gets in close. And his shaken is 0 to 6. It was 0 to 4. So now he's a much better, or at least a better commander for us. All these guys had cool except for one of them, which was Schmidt. So he's the only commander out of the battle that ended up with 1 stress point. So that's good. That's going to help him. And then the last thing I'm going to do, I have to pay 1 SO point because of my elephant, the large tank. He has to pay when he's in battle. So I did that. And I had to pay, and I'm going to trade in, upgrade my Panzer III, which was worth 9, to the Panther, which is worth 15. That's a difference of 6. So I lose 6 SO points to do that, but I gain a much better tank. So now I have that tank in my arsenal. And that Panther goes back into the reserves. So that's going to help us moving forward, because you can see how devastating this was with these guys, man. When they can hit, they can knock them down. So that leaves me starting week 2 with 10 SO points. And now the last thing we got to do is we got to go through all the battalion rolls up here and move their battalions. So here we go. We'll start with these guys right here in the front. We have 17A, so he's an assault, and we use this little table right here, and we start moving. So we'll start with 17A. We roll a die. There's no modifiers here for this, and he gets a 4 and a 4. 17A holds. Yes, that's exactly what I was hoping for. 18A, he's an assault. He's right here. He rolls and gets a 9. He advances. So 18A now move to the front. Okay. 9A, he's another assault. He gets a 5. And a 5 is an advance. So 9A moved up to the front. 3C is not fixed, so we roll for him. He's a command unit. And the command unit got a daggone 8. He moved up. Okay. Dang. I was hoping he wouldn't move. He's an artillery support. Maybe a guy I go after here. Mixed combat force. 5A. He gets a 5. A 5 on an assault. He advances to the front. And now we have 7A. 7A is an assault. A 3, he holds. All right. That really helps me. It really does, because it's going to make a difference how I fight my battles here. All right, I got to check the rest of these guys. 8S, he's a fixed unit, so he does not move. But I do have a special rule. At the end, 1 non-fixed battalion can move. Okay. 9S, he's fixed, so we don't move him. 8C, enemy rear. Now he can move, so we got to roll for him. Let's set this over here. 8C's in the rear. We roll. He's a command unit. A one he holds, so he's not going anywhere. 1S, he can move. 1S is in the breakthrough. He's a supply unit. He gets a 1. He holds. Okay. Those guys aren't moving up. Large armor force, 1A. He's in the rear. And he gets a 10. He's definitely advancing up. So he comes up into the transit area now. And we have 5C. He's fixed. He doesn't move. 6A. Here we go with 6A. He gets a 5. A 5, he advances. So he moves from the rear to the transit area. And we have an outpost 2S. He's fixed. Okay. So that's it for my battalion moves. Nobody's in my transit area, but the sappers, enemy transit, they were fixed. They didn't move. At the end of the move battalion step, advance any one non-fixed battalion. Okay. So any one non-fixed battalion. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just trying to see how many there are here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 11 actually. So we'll take the command unit out and everybody else can roll. So we'll count starting at the top of this one down. So whatever it is, we roll here, 10. So it's going to be the last one in this group. And that was 6A. So 6A, they moved from transit to front here. So they're now in the front. So you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units now in the front that I really got to start considering, because there's a good chance that they start moving in here. This is where I get worried that I can't have all them guys screaming up here, and I need to get rid of that battalion. But I don't think I can. 9S that's feeding that supply that's allowed, or whichever one it was. Let's see, which one was it? It was 8S. I wish I could get rid of him because he's the one creating these guys moving on me. And I really didn't like that, but I got to deal with these guys in my front area now and gain me some experience points. So that's the end of week 1. Hope you get a better feel for it. Man, I'm looking now. I'm getting geeked about moving on into week 2 and getting this set up. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and get us set up and get us ready for another week here and determine what we need to do. We can fight up to 3 battles in a week if we have enough forces. I don't think I've got that kind of forces, but I'm going to look at what's coming up at me and see what I need to knock out here. Some of these guys are pretty tough, and I don't want to get caught here. So, okay. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I really do appreciate it. And if you liked it, give me a thumbs up. I think I got everything right this time. I know I messed up on the first video I shot, and it didn't go well. This one went extremely well. All right, I'll see you guys next time.